Holy moly. Today was brutal. I literally did an entire Bible study on failure, and dude, for some reason, today's Bible study was gnarly. It just felt like an entire failure, so we're going to try and restart. I might not even do a Bible study today. Maybe I should just share a single verse and then go into the bike riding. Hopefully, and this is the most hilarious thing. Is maybe I should just left it. I should have just kept it going, but then like the chat was going crazy, and I didn't know how to like moderate the chat, and I don't know, man. But it's just so funny because I was like thinking about like the verses yesterday about like not being hidden, and I keep thinking about okay, well if the Lord Jesus Christ doesn't want us to be hidden, then it's just weird to think that maybe our faults and maybe our failures could be seen as well, which is very strange to think about, right? So maybe we'll just ponder on some verses on that. I literally just read an entire commentary on that, and it got so insane. Like, it was a very challenging Bible study. Maybe let's just read it again. Maybe that's what I need to do. That's probably what we'll do. Let's go into the Bible commentary on failure. Today is kind of weird. It just felt like I don't have as many combos. I think because today is it's a strange one for me today. Thinking about the nature of how the Lord Jesus Christ doesn't want us to be hidden, but then it's also like, well, then are we supposed to show our faults? Are we supposed to show our failures? Because I feel like it's somewhat of a paradox of our modern society, right? Because our modern society, many times we want to put our best foot forward. I mean, I want to do that too, right? I think most people want to do that, right? We want to put our best foot forward. We don't want to show our mistakes. We don't want to show our failures and stuff like that, right? And it's very, very perplexing to me. And I'm like, man, that is so weird to think about. So, yeah. So I guess let's read this. Let's read this Bible study again. And I apologize anybody. Oh my goodness. I went through today was hard. Oh well. You had to see my failures, I guess. And we're going to go into this one today. What does the Bible say about failure? Right? What does the Bible say about failure? I feel like this is something that most people that ride BMX and stuff know. You just got to fail and fail and fail to learn this stuff. So is it going to say anything up on here? And I think I've actually read this one today, so we're just going to read it again. I mean, maybe I'll just power through it. To fail from time to time is only human, but to be a failure is when we are defeated by failure. That's what it felt like today. Refusing to rise and try again. Okay, so I guess that's another one. Holy dude. Is God, sometimes I feel like God is just testing me today. I don't know, man. So I guess, let's read. I'm going to read this slowly again. To fail from time to time is only human. But to be a failure is when we are defeated by failure, refusing to rise and try again. Well, at least we're trying to try it again. Christians sometimes believe that they should be immune to failure by virtue of their relationship with God. But the truth is that God often allows us to fail for a variety of reasons. Job 14:1 says, "Man born of woman is of few days and full of trouble." That doesn't say unbelievers or the ungodly. It says man born of woman. What does that mean? Life is full of trouble, even for those who belong to God through faith in Christ. We are to expect it. This means that God does not promise life to be without problems, sorrow, and yes, failure, just because we believe in Him. Luke 9:1-5 describes how Jesus sent his disciples out to preach the gospel and perform miracles. He also taught them how to handle failure. If people do not welcome you, shake the dust off your feet, when you leave their town as a testimony against them. And I feel like that's actually a very big one, right? Because I feel like in many cases it's actually weird reading this again because now I'm actually thinking about something else. Because many times I feel like there is this maybe even primal instinct to want to defend ourselves or to want to like retaliate or to want to like, even just defend ourselves. If there's like an argument, if someone's like throwing it upon you, do you want to like say something back to them? Or do you want to be like snarky if somebody gives you something back that's snarky? And that is interesting. And it's weird that Jesus says just shake the dust off your feet. I feel like that's kind of hard to do in many cases, right? And, interesting. Jesus wanted the soon-to-be apostles to model themselves after him. He gave them power and authority over devils, power to heal the sick. Most of all, Jesus wanted them to have boldness. Now, see, this is actually very interesting. When I went into it earlier, I was actually a bit conflicted on this, actually, because I actually think I might, if I were to maybe write this commentary, I don't think that's what I maybe would have put on that, right? Because on this Got Questions one, right? Look at it, says, most of all, Jesus wanted them to have boldness, right? Whereas I feel like didn't Jesus want us to have love? Like didn't he want? Isn't like love one of the greatest things that we should be doing? But maybe I don't know. Maybe this is something to think about, right? Because it does make me think about the very first verse I remember memorizing, and it was Proverbs 28:1. Let's go into Proverbs 28:1. This one actually reminds me of the verse we went into yesterday about being like a city set on a hill that cannot be hidden. The wicked flee when no one pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. To be bold as a lion. And what's interesting about this one is a commentary gave a very quick analogy about being bold, and they brought up this analogy of like a Word document, and when you press the word bold, it kind of like makes the letters kind of like thick, and you can like see them from far away. And it's kind of weird to think about that, and it's weird that Jesus wants us to be bold. And I guess it kind of does make sense because also Jesus is also known as the Lion of the tribe of Judah, right? So it's kind of like weird. But I don't know about if this one's correct. I'm wondering if there was like some pastors out there. Would you say that most of all Jesus wanted them to have boldness? I don't know. I feel like most of all Jesus wanted us to have love. Right? I feel like that's one, to love our neighbors as ourselves, right? Well, that's what I think anyway. So let's keep going. He knew that not everyone was going to receive the truth about him. But in saying, shake the dust from your feet, he meant for them to move on and plow forward. Witnessing and being rejected can make us feel like failures. But if we understand, we are to expect it. John 15:18. What appears to be failure actually becomes a badge of honor. See, I feel like I don't understand really what that means. Why do they say this? What appears to be failure actually becomes a badge of honor. Because I feel like that's not what happens, right? Like even thinking about like when you fail a test or something like that. It's like when you fail a test, you didn't get a good score or something like that, right? And it's like I feel like that's kind of like a weird paradox. Like how is that a badge of? I mean, I guess maybe it's a badge of honor because maybe we at least attempted. Like, is it better to attempt and to fail than to not try at all? Is that what they're trying to go about? I don't know, right? I wish they would go a little bit deeper into that. Let's keep going. When we feel failure come against us, our first reaction may be to run or give up. When it comes to sin, we are all capable of avoiding it. Even in complete love, faith, and devotion to God, we can all fall. But God is not shocked by this which is why he sent his son to die for our sins. We get back up again and we start over. But we should know that we cannot do it alone. We must keep our eyes on our Savior, following and obeying him and laying aside the sin that inevitably leads to spiritual failure. As Hebrews 12:1 says, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked for us. God has marked out a course for each of us, and sometimes that course includes failure. Well, that's weird. Huh. It's weird. When I'm reading this again, there's like new things that actually pop out to me. So it's like, does God want us to... Does he ultimately want us to learn from our failures? Right? God has marked out a course for each of us, and sometimes that course includes failure. The failure isn't theirs. What's up, dude? What's up, man? Were you in the first one, dude? I literally... Man, it was like everything I got into this... I literally did this Bible study. This is actually the second time me doing it. I got so in a tangent of like so much stuff that was like... It probably had nothing to do at all with this Bible study, but I started getting all into like biblical stewardship and thinking about all this stuff, and it was just really hard. And then like the chat started like blowing up, and I didn't know how to like there's like kind of like a troll person in the chat, and I was kind of getting a little frustrated, and then I was like, oh, I don't even know what to do, and then I just like restarted the stream. So but the other thing is I like have to remember that we have to treat our neighbors as ourselves, and it's almost like I feel like I almost like got tested. I feel like almost like wasn't and here's the weird thing is I'm thinking about aspects of like, you know how some things happen to us and it's so fast, right? Like it's very like spur of the moment, right? And sometimes I feel like I don't have the verses that I should have in my mind. It's not like I'm just going to look up verses right here. It's like, well, I could have, right? And sometimes I feel like some of the things that I probably should remember, I like don't remember at that spur of the moment. And I feel like sometimes it's just like a primal instinct thing. And the other thing is like sometimes I feel like this might even occur in say even like just strange situations in reality, right? Like today I had such a hard, I was full on stuck with this perplexing topic of like, I know it is kind of controversial, right? Because, you know, we're called to love our enemies, right? We're called to love our enemies. We're called to treat our neighbors like we would treat ourselves, right? But the thing is like, I feel like sometimes with the technology that we have, of even say the weapon of the gun, for example, right? Like I feel like some of the weaponry we have right now, it's kind of like, can we maybe try and love our enemies or something like that? Or because it's like so easy to kill people. It's like you could just press the trigger and boom, they're dead or something like that, right? And it's like perplexing me because I'm like, okay, so if you were in a situation, a life or death situation, right? Like it's hard for me to be like, okay, well, I'm going to try and love my enemy, right? Like, I'm going to be full on honest. Like, I'd be like, oh, well, if I'm in a life or death situation, what am I supposed to do at the spur of the moment, right? When our technology is so fast at killing things, unfortunately, right? And I don't know what you guys think about that, but sorry if I made that sound very confusing, but it is actually a big, big topic. It's actually a very controversial topic because I have heard many other believers bring up stuff. But yeah, next time just ban and report them and continue. Yeah, I never had to do that. It was like, I never did that, and everything was like, you know, it was just, it felt stressful. But yeah, today is actually a very big one. And what's also weird about today is I honestly felt like I should have maybe even just kept the stream going. But I was like, oh, dude, it was so weird. And that's the weird thing is because we went into the verses yesterday, right? About us being like, you are the light of the world, the city set on a hill cannot be hidden, right? But it's weird because it's just then like, are we supposed to show our failures? We're not to be hidden and stuff like that. And how I think about it too, when I peer a little bit deeper about not being hidden, is I'm kind of thinking it's also maybe the Lord Jesus Christ wanted like more accountability, right? And maybe like, cause like I was trying to think about things that people do hide, right? Like maybe even something if it was like under the table, like some sort of sketchy thing that they're doing. And it's just weird to me. And I'm wondering if like us being less hidden kind of gives us a little bit more trust for people. Because they're like, oh, okay, well, that dude fails too. Or that dude's a little bit more real and or something like that, right? I really don't know. That's what I was thinking though anyway. Let's finish off this commentary. Today's going to be a quicker Bible study. I'm just basically just reading this commentary. Okay, let's see here. When we feel failure come against us, our first reaction may be to run or give up when it comes to... Okay, I already read that. But we should know that we cannot do it alone. We must keep our eyes on our Savior, following and obeying Him, and laying aside the sin that inevitably leads to spiritual failure. Okay, I read that too. But when we cling to the Savior, even our failures can be turned into successes by the one who controls all things and strengthens us in our weakness. And that's a big one I was thinking about as well, of our weakness, because isn't it strange that Paul says God is glorified in our weaknesses? Let me put that, I looked that verse up earlier. It's this one right here. What do you guys think about this one? This verse trips me out. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. That one's a big one, right? Because I feel like this one is a paradox of our society too. And sometimes this is actually what is kind of conflicting for me. I'm going to be really honest. Like sometimes this is what is a little bit conflicting with me reading God's word. Is sometimes like, even when I read this one, right, it's like Paul saying, "Oh, well, I'm gonna boast in my weaknesses," right? But I feel like in our modern society, that's not how it runs. Like if you think about like a company or a big, whoever you are, right? Sometimes we want to show the best of what we're doing. Sometimes we want to put our best foot forward, right? We don't want to be like, "Oh, well, I suck at that. Hey, everybody, look at me. I suck at this thing over here." It's like we kind of want to show, hey, I worked at this. I'm kind of good at this. Let's show this. It's kind of like even thinking about, it's making me think about even like the nature of like Instagram or like TikTok or even YouTube, right? Whereas like most people want to show their highlights, like the best of the best that happened to them, right? And most people don't want to like show like just like their stuff that they're failing all the time or something like that, right? I don't know. Huh. That's what I'm thinking though. How is God glorified in our weaknesses? Let's look that up. I'm going to look that up right now. How is God glorified in our weaknesses? Right? Like that's a very challenging one for me to think about right now. How is God's strength made perfect in weakness? 2 Corinthians 12:9 on God Questions. I guess we will read 2 commentaries today. Oh, that's so funny, because I feel like I have read this commentary before. I didn't read it today, but it's weird how they put it out right in the beginning. Many of the principles of God's kingdom are paradoxes. That's what I was thinking about, right? When the Apostle Paul pleaded with God to remove his affliction, one he called a thorn in the flesh, the Lord said to Paul, my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:8-9. The New Living Translation says, my grace is all you need. My power works best in weakness. Now, the big one is what is a weakness? Now that's what I'm wondering. Could a weakness be considered a failure? Oh, is a weakness considered something? I don't know, right? I think of it like this. We are the dark contrast to his light. Intriguing. That is an interesting thing to think about, right? And I'm actually thinking about it. I guess I could think about it as a sense of, what I was hearing these Olympic athletes saying. There's actually this Olympic athlete documentary that I was watching, right? Now, this goes into failure. I don't know if this actually goes into weakness, but I remember watching this Olympic, if you type in Olympic athlete documentary or something like this, there's like a bunch of them. But the thing is, I remember one, and this chick was saying, most of the time people in the Olympics, people think that they're just these genetic abnormality people, which actually a lot of them are. A lot of them are just like genetically just like, gifted or something like that, right? But what this chick was saying is that most of the time what she has observed is that the people that are in the Olympic, or anybody actually really, at the top of their field or something like that, is they're actually the ones that failed the most, but they just never gave up. And it's weird to think about that, right? It is actually bizarre for me to think about, people maybe that we even look up to. They might even be the ones that failed the most, right? But they just never gave up and they just kept going. Which maybe that kind of maybe makes me think about this. My grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. God's strength is made perfect in weakness because he delights in taking situations where human strength is lacking to demonstrate the greatness of his power. That's weird, right? Now I feel like this could even be so subjective, right? I feel like this could be so subjective to to anybody's life, right? Because I feel like if we were to all think about it, like we all ourselves have our own weakness, or we might consider weaknesses. But it's actually very hard for me to be like, okay, well, God, how... If I had a question for the Lord, I'd be like, okay, God, I don't know how this is giving you glory. But I don't know. Let's keep going. What is this going to say? God's denial of Paul's request for healing turned out to be a blessing in the apostle's life. One commentary explains that the thorn kept Paul from imagining himself as a spiritual Superman and revealed to him the reality of his human morality and weakness, despite the extraordinary revelations. The thorn also kept Paul pinned close to the Lord in trust and confidence. Okay, so I think what they're bringing up is that maybe our weaknesses can actually give us humility, right? Because I guess maybe if we're just... Like, imagine if we were just, like, stellar at everything. We're just like, just these super, like, what this commentary was saying. Like, we're just, like, these superheroes or something like that, right? I guess if we were to never have weaknesses or something like that, then maybe we would get too prideful, right? So maybe our weaknesses actually bring us humility. And, I always forget about that. I feel like I should have brought that up right in the beginning, and I can't believe I didn't even remember that. Our weaknesses can bring us humility and keep us from being too prideful. Now, I'm wondering, could our failures do the very same thing? I feel like it could. Dude, it makes sense. Maybe I'm just going crazy. I just feel like those two things kind of like might be correlated in some degree. What is this commentary? Paul stopped protesting his situation and began to boast and even take pleasure in his weakness, so that the power of Christ could work through him. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. 2 Corinthians 12. Man, dude, that verse is so gnarly right there. I'm going to read it again. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. 2 Corinthians 12:10. You know what's actually really, really, really crazy? Is I've heard a lot of testimonies on this verse right here of people that were about to end their own lives and stuff like this. They just, crazy stuff like that. And some of these verses, this one in particular as well, it like gave them hope. They're like, okay, it's going to give me strength. Let's just keep going. I'm not going to give up. And that's just really, sometimes like it's so baffling to me that like even just a single verse, right? That even a single verse can just be running in somebody's mind. And they could have been feeling like, oh, well, I'm just going to end it. just end. I'm talking about them ending their entire life, them committing suicide or something. But even just like a single verse just running in their mind, and it gives them something to hope for, right? Like, how crazy would it be for you to write something and you get that is so crazy to me, man. It like trips me out so much. Imagine you writing something and all these people might want to end their own lives or something like that, and you wrote something that made people not want to do that, right? That is powerful, man. I know we learn from our weaknesses, and that leads us towards Christ and growth through him. Very true, huh? Paul expressed the paradox of his condition, that in his frailty he was strong because his strength came from Christ. The words made perfect in 2 Corinthians 12:9, fully or entirely accomplished or made complete. Christ's power is made complete. It is able to fully accomplish its purpose. When his people are weak and depend on him for strength, when we, like Paul, stop resisting and complaining and let the power of Christ rest on us, we make room to receive countless unexpected blessings from the Lord. By allowing God's strength to be made perfect in our weakness, we have the opportunity to display God's glory flawlessly. The grace and power of God interlocked with human lives at the point of mortal weakness. Wow. It sounds crazy. It just reminds me of all the like the very things I was just talking about, right? Like just seeing those testimonies really trip me out, dude. When you hear testimonies like that, man, like just testimonies where people are like, man, I was about to kill myself and God, God's word gave me some hope to not give up. It's like, bro, that's brutal, dude. That's like, imagine like, man, it's like, I'm pretty sure there's been many other books that might have, gotten people to do that, but I've heard just so many testimonies bring that stuff up like that. I'm like, bro, that is so like, dude, just like the strength of that, of just God's word right there, man. It's like, it's baffling to even think about, man. It really is, to me personally. I don't know about you guys, anybody listening to this, but man, it's just, and it does give me a bit more sense. And it's like, it's sad because I have to say that sometimes I actually kind of lose reverence, and sometimes I forget about, these testimonies that I've heard, even these believers that I've met that were in those situations, right? And it's because it's not like I always think about that, right? And it is cool that just reading something kind of like sparks that memory that I probably needed to think about again. Over and over, the Bible gives example of God's strength manifesting when his people are weak. Moses, the great leader of Israel, was deeply aware of his human shortcomings. Exodus 4:10. When the Lord called him to go to Pharaoh, Moses cried, "I'm not adequate. Please send someone else." But God replied anyway, "Moses, because I will be with you." Exodus 4:12-15. Gideon's story proves that God can accomplish great things through people who forget about their human weaknesses. Trust in God's strength and obey his guidance. Judges 6:14-16. And of course, our most notable biblical example, Jesus Christ, was crucified in weakness, but now lives in the power of God. 2 Corinthians 13:4. 1 Corinthians 1:27 teaches, "But God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong." We must never shrink away from God because of our weaknesses, but run to him, letting him equip and empower us to accomplish his will. We must remember his promise. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles, and they will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Isaiah 40:29-31. And that's such a big one, I feel like I see too. It's actually weird because it's when I read the ending of that one, they will not grow weary and they will walk and not faint. It does make me think about like the endurance and resilience that I have seen in believers' lives. I mean, even just people that have just believed in God for so many years, and like doing their devotionals, like this just seems like a speck in the ocean compared to how some people have done their devotionals for like 40 plus years and stuff like that, man. I'm like, dude, that is crazy. Like that is so crazy that you guys are still in the Word of God after 40 plus years, man. You guys are still into that, you know? Because like I feel like I get bored of so many things, you know. Like it always makes me think of all the things in my life where I've just like got really into. I was like, bro, I'm gonna be into this for so long. Like I'm never gonna give this. And then like a couple years later, I just totally forget about it, right? Whereas like, man, when I see someone, it's, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like running the race. You know, like running the race set before us, and how some of these guys, man, he just been like, it's really crazy seeing some of the devotion of some of these believers. And it does give me a lot of inspiration. When we are in the position of need, it allows us to see how much we need God. 2 Corinthians 1:9, 3, 5, and 13:4. The more we are aware of our weakness, the more God can reveal his power through us. We now have this light shining in our hearts, but we ourselves are like fragile clay jars containing this great treasure. This makes it clear that our great power is from God and not from ourselves. God's strength is made perfect in weakness. When we put our faith and trust in him, the Lord's presence is all we need in times of weakness. His great power and sufficiency rests on us as we find strength in him, and he is glorified. We can say with the psalmist, "My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever." Psalms 37:26. Man. That one's a big one too, that last one. That last one kind of like reminds me of like David as he's getting older, you know, like, because, you know, like David has like so many of these crazy stories in the Old Testament, but like it is kind of strange that he did like, I don't know actually if he wrote Psalms until like his very last days, you know, before he died or something like that. But the thing is, when I read that verse, it's like, it reminds me of David still having that devotion. Like even when he got all old, right? He's all like frail and stuff maybe. And he's like, God still has given me strength. You know, even if my muscles decay away and all this stuff, and that God has ultimately given him, you know, that even then, even in that position in his life, right? And it's so crazy because that's happening right now as I speak with so many other believers' lives, man. Man, this Bible study was way better. Anyway, that was the Bible study. I apologize anybody that I also want to say that I do apologize anybody if I am saying anything wrong. I apologize if my tonality is like off, if I'm sounding inconsiderate. I'd like to try and learn more about treating our neighbor as ourselves and loving even our enemies, you know, even though that sounds very perplexing and paradoxical in our society at the moment. But even, you know, just trying to, ultimately I'd like to think just, okay, how can we just spread more positivity? How can we spread more uplifting, more encouragement? Even if we don't, even if I don't even like it, right? How can I even do that to anybody, right? And that's a hard thing to do. And it's actually like, it really is a hard thing to do, because many times people want to kind of retaliate, right? It's like many times people want to push you down and like, you know, and I think that actually is a weird power dynamic, right? Because that happens, if you notice, like a lot of parts of society, right? People do want to push people down and keep them down, kind of maybe because it gives them like kind of like a, like, oh, I'm better than you or something like that, and you know, stuff like that. And it's just really weird because I feel like Christ wants to just heal like as many people as he can, right? He wants all to come to him, right? And man, it's so weird to like think that, and it really like, it does sadden me that at times I probably, maybe when I was younger and stuff like that, I was probably a lot more, maybe even sounded a lot more condemning, or, you know, I did things in more of like maybe even, unfortunately, maybe even a condemning way. And I feel bad that I didn't even think about that, right? But now I'm really starting to like ponder upon those things a bit more. So anyway, that was the Bible study. So hopefully we can learn from our mistakes, right? Hopefully we can learn from our failures and stuff like that, and keep going on. I guess the ultimate failure is to give up completely. So let us keep going forth. There's actually a cheesy quote too. There's actually another cheesy quote. This one isn't a Bible verse, but I do remember there's a quote that says, "Success is built upon the mountains of our failures." So I guess let's just keep climbing up the mountain. And it's kind of funny because it does remind me about like kind of like the Sermon on the Mount, right? So let's just keep climbing the mountain. I don't know. Should we do the green cards? I think we're going to do the light blue cards today. Let's do these light blue cards. Man, today's Bible study was brutal. That was like, because I had to restart it. I restarted this Bible study. I should have just kept it going, but man, I should have just showed my mistakes. Okay, let's see here. Well, let's try this. Sometimes I've actually been in a strange, I'm wondering what other people think about this too, because I feel kind of tripped out. I already know it's happened to me on Instagram, you know, because on Instagram it got to this point where like I would get all tripped out, right? Because like I'd like post a clip on my bike or something, or like do a drawing or something like this, and like a bunch of people would like one particular one, right? But then I'd put so much more time into another one, and then like barely anybody even likes it. And I'd get all tripped out. I'd be like, well, why do all these people like this one and they don't like this one, right? It's like, and I don't like thinking about that, right? And it's weird because sometimes numbers can kind of trip me out. I'm just like, is this working? Is this not working? And I just got to think about these streams as this is just the ultimate unlimited external hard drive. This is just me practicing. So like, even if nobody even watches these streams, we're gonna keep going with it. All right, let's see what we draw today. Yeah, I have two. This is actually my earlier one. Actually, I forgot a card right here. Put this card in there. Actually, I gotta put this card in there too. I got two of them. I haven't really done this one. I've done this one a lot, but generally I do the green one. It's just I shuffled the cards differently. They're all mixed and matched up. Let's see if any of these remind me of anything in the scriptures. By the way, I don't play normal MTG. Now I used to, right? I used to play like normal MTG. I basically now I would like to even consider these as kind of like a story, like art story. I actually just like seeing the art and just seeing if it reminds me of any sort of scriptures or something like that. And it sounds strange, but actually some of these cards have helped me remember verses, memorize verses. All right, first card of the day. Got Pilgrim's Eye. Huh. Pilgrim's Eye. Second card. Interesting. We got Confessor. What is a confessor? You guys know what a confessor is? What is a confessor? Painted by John Abel. Let me look that up right now. I mean, I know there's something. Let me look that up. I'm going to look that word specifically up. Confess, because it's like, is it confessing our sins or? Huh. A title, honor, or designated of faith who had confessed Christ publicly in time of persecution. Wow, that's what a confessor is. All right. Weird. I guess that's the Bible definition anyway. Overtaker. Huh. This one actually, you know what's weird? This one sounds ridiculous, but take this with a giant grain of salt, but this art right here reminds me of Ezekiel's vision and the 4 living creatures. If you go into Ezekiel, I think it's Ezekiel 1 or 10, and it goes into talking about like the 4 living creatures that he sees in his visions, and there's these wheels. Now this is my own interpretation on the matter, because not many people even said this before. So the thing is that if you read Ezekiel 10 on his vision, he says that he sees these wheels in the sky, and these wheels have eyes all around them, right? But what's weird is sometimes when I just look at like Christian art and stuff like that, and you see just the nature of the halo, I don't know if there's even a Bible verse about halos in particular, right? I don't even think there is any sort of verse that even mentions a halo. But sometimes when I think about like the thing in the wheels in the sky and stuff, sometimes I think about how crazy would it be if it was like Ezekiel's wheels like way up there, and it's like the spirit of the 4 living creatures is just like kind of like imbuing some sort of spiritual thing to some people. I don't know. That's my own thought process on it, but it's kind of hilarious. But because I'm pretty sure there's not any verses on halos in the. There might be. I don't know. I haven't really looked it up. Field of Souls. Now it sounds ridiculous, right? Some of these cards actually remind me of Bible verse. Now, see, it's weird. Even just thinking about this, this is kind of what I like to do, right? I like to just I like reading the top of the card and then just seeing the artwork, right? But now this card reminds me of Proverbs 11:30 specifically. And Proverbs 11:30, it says something about like winning souls. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and whoever captures souls is wise. Yeah, this verse right here. It's hilarious. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and whoever captures souls is wise. Isn't that weird, right? Reminds me of this card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stormfront Pegasus. I like the art. That one just looks cool. 2, 3, 4, 5. Amara Tondris. Daybreak Chaplain. Huh. This is weird. Now, this isn't a Bible verse, but it is weird because yesterday we went into the verse on the about letting our light shine, and it's weird how this one brings up light. May the light shine through me to guide the lost. Huh. And we're going to do our last draw on the Instagram thing. Okay, let's see here. How are we doing this up in here? Welcome, travelers, to the card draw of the day, where we get to observe some artwork and maybe get some inspiration for some illustrations. Today we drew Pilgrim's Eye, Confessor, Overtaker, Field of Souls, Stormfront Pegasus, Amara Tondris, Daybreak Chaplain. For the last card of the day, what card will it be? Dude, we've been drawing this card so many times. We drew this yesterday. Dirkwood Boars. That has this weird verse in Mark 5:13 about demons. And the unclean spirits went out and entered the swine, and the herd ran violently. Interesting story. And the other weird one is this one right here. Field of Souls. Much more abstract, painted by Richard Kane Ferguson. Interesting artwork on that one. Anyway, everybody, you guys have a good one, and try your best. Have fun. I got that one. It's weird. We drew the Bible verse card. I literally drew this one yesterday. Look at this thing. It always trips me up that they put a Bible verse on this card. It's like, you know? I just wonder, like, why can't more companies, right? Can you guys think about any games that have put Bible verses in them? Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I feel like I can't even like name like 5. I can't even name what games have put a Bible verse in something. I'm just really trying to think here. I can't even remember any. Do you guys like earnestly know any games that have put any sort of Bible verses on anything? Like, I feel like the closest one maybe would be maybe Diablo 2, but I don't think they even put a Bible verse in Diablo 2. All they put was like Baal, like Baal. They had some stuff about like demons and stuff like that. I don't know though, right? What games have put Bible verses on? I'm curious to see all the games that have. I'm curious. There's one though. But this is way back. This is This is actually in 2000. That's when they did. That was 24 years ago that they put a Bible verse on something, right? Very strange. Very strange. I'm curious. I'm going to look this up now. What games have put a Bible verse on something? Oh, they're just bringing up Bible games now. I guess that does make sense. That, I guess there are a lot of like Bible games that put things on that, but I'm talking about like games outside of the realm of just strictly a Bible game, right? Like that, which seems most people like to play those games, right? I mean, sometimes I guess I think about like some of the stuff in Diablo 2, like the Diablo 2 auras. Diablo 2 auras, because there are some with crosses on them. I'm pretty sure. Let's watch some of it. Now, these aren't. I'm not going to say these are Bible verses and stuff, but the thing is it did have some stuff, and some of them did have like a cross on it. Let's watch it. Got Might, Holy Fire, Thorns, Blessed Aim, Concentration, Holy Freeze, Holy Shock, Sanctuary. That's a cool word. Fanaticism. What is fanaticism? Conviction. Prayer. There's one with a cross on it. I want to see the one with the cross on it. Well, I think it's a cross. Vigor. Meditation. That one right there. Redemption. I need to like lower the... Is that a cross or is that not a cross? Huh. See, that full on... I mean, I don't know. Do you guys think that's a cross? I think that's a cross, but I feel like it's weird when I see someone put a cross in something. Let's actually look what that word means. What does redemption mean? Right? Now, I don't know if that's a cross. It's straight up... I mean, that looks like a cross, right? What do you guys think? I'm pretty sure that's a cross. Let's look up what does that word mean now? What does redemption mean? Redemption definition. Huh. The action of being saved or being saved from sin, error or evil, God's plans for redemption of his world, the action of regaining or gaining possession of something in exchange for payment or clearing a debt. See, now it's weird, right? It's weird when... So the other thing is, I feel like if I were to bring up like, oh, well, is Diablo 2 a Christian game? Well, I think most people would be like, no, that is not a Christian game. Like that has nothing to do whatsoever about Christianity, right? But what's weird to me is that they use the word redemption and then they put a cross on it, right? That was Diablo 2, by the way. Diablo 2. Now, the thing about Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 is they both put a cross in their games, right? Once we get into Diablo 3 and Diablo 4, they took the cross out. Yeah, it's very strange. Man, that's very odd. Yeah, the Diablo 2 Paladin, there used to be crosses in it. Very intriguing, actually. See, even like this one. This one was from Diablo 2. He's straight up just the Paladin. It looks like a cross, I don't know, on his chest. Oh, it's all bright. Let me turn down the brightness setting. Weird, huh? Anyway, that probably has nothing to do with anything, but I just find that strange, right? Like, I'm wondering, like, did the dude that made program that thing? He was like, oh, I'm gonna name it. I'm gonna put a cross on that, right? I don't know, right? I guess that's up. I don't know who programmed whatever. Whoever programmed that, maybe he was a believer, and maybe like, and that's the thing, right? Because I feel like this is what a lot of video games happen, right? Even I feel like most of you, imagine like if you were working for a video game, and you're like, hey, could I put a Bible verse in this video? And they're like, no, you cannot put it. That's gonna cause too much controversy. We're not putting a Bible verse in this. But then, what if what if they got shot down because of that? But then he was like, okay, well, I'm going to hide a little cross into something. Do people do that? I would love to hear a pastor make a sermon on that topic right there. I'd love to hear it. If you guys know any sermons, you guys should link it in because I'd love to hear a sermon like that. I don't know. Do you guys have any Bible verse games? Maybe even an anime or something. What animes have had a Bible verse in it? I'm trying to think. Has there ever been an anime I've watched that they put a Bible verse in it? I'm trying to think. Does Evangelion have a Bible verse in it? I guess Evangelion is a little weird because in Evangelion, I don't want to spoil it, but the dude on the cross, his name's Adam. And it's weird because when I reread the Bible, it's strange because Christ is known as the second Adam, which I thought was very strange. And I was like, was that a coincidence? Did they put Adam on the cross because Christ is known as the second Adam? I don't know, right? But I like finding that stuff, right? Sometimes I'm like, God, is that... Like, sometimes I really wonder, like, God, what do you think about this? What do you think that barely anything wants to put a Bible verse on something? You know, like... I don't know, man, because it's really not that hard to do that. The hard part is what people are going to think about you, right? Anyway, that was the Bible study. Brutal, man. Today was gnarly. I don't even know. Helsing? Huh. I'm gonna drink some coffee. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, there's not many, huh? It's weird that it's like, I actually have trouble thinking about that. But yeah, if I had another question for the Lord, I'd be like, Lord, how do you want me to steward this stuff for you? Am I even stewarding this stuff for you correctly? You know, because I'm going to be, like, even take, for example, my drawings, right? Now, the thing is I could not even, it's very easy for me not to put a cross in something. It's very easy for me not to put a Bible verse on something. But the other thing is that it is really easy for me to add those things in. So, I'm just, like, if the Lord was in front of me, I'd be like, Lord, what do you want? Do you want me to not steward this for you? Like, what do you want me to do, Lord? Like, do you want me to? Do you really want me to steward everything? Because I can do it. It's really not that hard. But I don't know, right? It's like, I don't know. People I just think I'm crazy, but I really like to think about that. Like, it's not that challenging to do it. All right, let's ride. I guess let's ride our bike now. I mean, even like putting this little cross up. You know, I have like a couple crosses up in here. I just made them out of duct tape. You know, even this cross right up in here. That cross up in there, right there. Bro, that took like 2 seconds to make. And all I did was just take some duct tape. Just, you know. Like all I don't know. Is that promoting the Lord? I'm wondering what people think about that, because I know that cross is so. Look at how little that thing is. It's like that little. I don't know. Is that promoting the Lord, or would people find that? That's why I put that thing right there. It was like, okay, well, you know, trying to give glory to God. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but dang, that thing took 2 seconds to make. It's not like I'm here like crafting like some crazy painting that's going to take months on end. Okay, let's ride our bike now. Holy moly, today is brutal. I'm sorry anybody that I've upset or something like that. I apologize. I'm a little bit more taxed out today. Let's put some music on. But that's the other thing is I like finding stuff. I love There's a man. It's like I keep going on to actually now I'm kind of digging today. I love finding stuff with just like little things about the Bible. I don't know. Are you guys like that, or is it just me? I feel like I just love like even just this card right here. I'm just like, what in the world? This thing has a Bible. I'm like still tripped out every time I draw this thing. I'm like, bro, they put a Bible verse on this thing. Like, this is insanity. Like, this is just straight, like, absurd. Like, imagine all the things that print a Bible. Or even, like, when I go to In-N-Out. You know, like, when you go to In-N-Out, and they put the little Bible verse on something, you're like, what in the world? Like, this is just so, like, who does this? This is so strange. Or not even that. Or, like, even finding something that says, like, redemption. Or, like, you know, something like that. It always just, like, fully just trips me out. Yeah, that doesn't make that. But there is a verse now that I think about it. Oh, there is actually a verse. It says, God, it is the glory for God it's the glory for kings to search things out. The glory of kings to search things out. I don't know if this has anything to do with what I just said, but it is the glory of God to conceal things, but the glory of kings is to search things out. Sometimes I wonder if like God leaves these little breadcrumbs for us to find. Little breadcrumbs. Little breadcrumbs. And maybe we can be a part of the breadcrumb journey. Other believers can find us. Alright, let's ride. Holy moly. People just probably think I'm crazy. Oh well. These streams are so weird. Oh man. Oh man. Today is particularly awkward. I don't know why. I'm just like, I don't know. I just feel awkward today. Oh, I need to check my PSI. I think I feel awkward today because yesterday I was just like doing this 4 stone thing, which I'm probably gonna do it today, and I was just failing over and over and over again. Let go. You. Oh man. Man, there's a lot of commercials on YouTube. I don't know if you guys been noticing that. It's a straight bombardment of commercials now. You can't skip them. Or you have to watch like the first 5 seconds of it. Oh, dude, there's another one I saw yesterday. Bro, check this out. Okay. I know I seem crazy, bro. I know I straight up seem crazy. But dude, there's this freaking Flatland BMX video. Here, if you type in here, I'm going to show you guys because I showed it yesterday. But just because we're on this little train of just like, this train of just finding these little things that I like to find that have something to do with the Bible or something. But there's this trick right here. BMX, or no, it's a Holy Ghost and Pinky Squeaks. I even find it, where was it? Bro, I played it yesterday. BMX. Bro, where is it? I'm gonna have to find it. Huh. And Pinky Squeaks. Here it is. Check this out. Now look at this guy. I know. Am I just going crazy, or why did he put Holy Ghost right there? I'm just like, dude, sometimes I start tripping out. I'm like, what in the world? Like, it says Flatland BMX, Holy Ghost, and the Pinky Squeak, period. So, the trick that I do, here, I'm going to show you guys the trick. So, some people call this trick the Pinky Squeak, right? And it's weird because I'm like, what in the world? Like, it's just so strange. Like, I'm like, why would that Flatlander, why would he say Holy Ghost and the Pinky? I don't know. And I'm like, like, am I just tripping out? Because he like, but it's this trick I've been trying to learn, right? It's like the multiple tail whip. This one. Oh. Some people call it Pinky Squeak. Some people call it fire whip. Maybe I gotta master it. Is that a little sign from God that I should just master the Pinky Squeak? Or am I just going crazy? Oh yeah. Trust safely. It's kind of chilly right now. Well, I guess let's try and do some pinkies. We'll see if we can do a 7-lap. Sorry, right? That tricky people. out of it today. We could try and ride a little bit. Some of these days I'm just like on it, bro. Like, and then some days I just kind of feel like if I'm just a little bit more tired, I just like feel it in my riding, especially in flatland. It is fun. Oh, let me change it to the fitness and health. By the way, if you guys start streaming, there's this actually this other BMX rider. He doesn't stream BMX riding anymore. He streams like road biking. His name's Dmitry like Kishnelikov or something like that. But he told me like what I should do on my stream is that you should like, so you do like something and then you change the category and then you change the category. I really don't know, but I'm trying to take his advice, so that's why I do that. So shout outs to Dimitri for giving me that tip. Sounds like you could just reach more people. Something like that. I'm like, huh, alright. Sorry, I don't know how to spell your name, Dimitri. If you're watching this, Dimitri, I'm sorry. I don't know how to spell your last name. Dmitry Kishnelikov. Something like that. Something like that. Put the light on. Light. Yippee. Cool. Alright, funky chicken tail practice. Oh my goodness, I don't blend that. Oh, brutal. Dude. At least I'm starting to get a little bit better at that. I don't even care if I don't even land anything. Just even doing that, I feel like I like leveled up like 0.01%. I'm wondering if having a thicker tire makes the trip easier. I bet if you had like a really thick tire, you could like kind of like go on it, because I feel like what happens is like you have to put all your weight on your tire, but if you're not centered on your tire, if like your weight's a little off, you kind of like, you can't like balance it. It's weird. I bet if you had a thicker tire, it'd make it easier. You stole it. tired today. Yesterday I had so much energy. Maybe that's why I am tired, because I used my energy yesterday. Let's try some coffee. Cheers, anybody out there that's watching this. You just get to watch me fail over and over and over again. Can we do the 4 block? We doing 4 block, boys and girls? 4 block. Maybe try. Maybe warm up a little bit. Oh yeah, we were trying the upside down tail whip yesterday as well. Let's try that one. Try to do it without the tail whip in the front. I missed it. When did I develop let's see here. When did I develop the love for BMX? Probably because of my dad. My dad gave me a bike when I was when I was 4 years old. So shout out to my dad. He'd drive me to the racetrack and drive me to the skate park and stuff like that. So I used to race when I was when I was a young little kid. It sounds ridiculous because I'm Ryan Flatland, but I actually used to be a racer when I was younger. But what's really cool about Flatland is you can learn this stuff really little areas. So I don't know if you guys see this square. I guess it's kind of hard to see the square. But there's this square right here. Dude, that's some people's local spot. They're just yeah, dude, try this little square right here. Which you can do a lot of stuff in here, but there's some dudes that are doing crazy stuff, bro. In a 5x7 square like this. Sure that more people are watching the stream right now. Most of the time people don't watch the BMX segment, it seems like, but it always kind of trips me out. I'm like, who's watching the BMX segment? Because I don't know many BMX riders on Twitch. I only know about 12 BMX riders on Twitch. Sketchy. Ayapa. Close, but no cigar. Man, that one just destroys my seat. Maybe I should just do a variety of tricks. That's kind of what I start thinking, like, okay, so if more people are watching, if I just do the same thing over and over and over again, they're probably going to get bored. I'm like, okay, well, let's just do a variety of maneuvers then, right? A variation of maneuvers. There's actually this one. This one's actually pretty funny. How did we do this one? Oh yeah, it's the track stand one. This one's pretty hilarious. I can only land it every now and then. Dude, Carl Pointner? No way, huh? It's kind of funny that you bring that rider up, because I know that rider specifically, well, I don't know him personally, but it's kind of funny because he rides a free coaster. I think he was one of, like, I wouldn't say like the first guys to run a free coaster, but, because I don't run a free coaster. I think actually a lot of people always like, bro, why aren't you running a free coaster? It's like, dude, I have ridden a cassette my like entire life. I actually do have a free coaster, but the slack in it, like, I don't know, bro. I don't know how you guys do it, dude. I use pedal pressure to land so many of my tricks, even at flatland. I can't ride with a free coaster. It's ridiculous. Kind of funny to say that, but I use pedal pressure more than I'd like to. Even just like the trial stuff, I use pedal pressure a lot. Oh, schmeckies. I watched him and some dude shred at my local park. Oh, crazy, man. That's really crazy, actually. I think I broke my seat. I need to tighten this thing up. Yeah, I think that dude, like, I remember seeing an old, like an old edit of him, and he's doing like a tire slide down a street. I think that's Carl Pointner, I'm pretty sure it is. I wonder if that dude's still riding. I feel like he would be still riding, right? I'm not sure. Maybe not. The other thing is I used to ride a totally different style. I never ride flatland forever. I've only been riding flatland for like 3.5 years now, like fully into flatland. But I used to I always liked brakes though, that's for sure. I used to be like the brake, straight cable, kind of like racing style, you know, like the straight cable, pegless, cassette. Like I was always into that style for like the longest time. Like that's most of my riding I've ever done was pegless straight cable style. But that's why I do a lot of like Azulicas and stuff like that. That's why I like that trick. The back feels a little sketchy. Let's see here.
He opened a bike shop in town, but I don't know if he rides anymore. I haven't rode BMX since I was like 11. Oh, okay. Kind of crazy, I just kept with it. All these years, this is actually one thing that has kept me going. You know, the funny thing is, Michael, is like, so the other weird thing is, so I used to work at Woodward. I used to work at Woodward West. And what was weird is, like, I was kind of like barely getting into my faith when I got to Woodward, right? Like, I was kind of like a believer, but not really. But then it was weird because I met so many believers at Woodward. I was like, what in the world? Like, this is strange. Like Olympic athletes, like crazy, like skateboarders, crazy, like BMX riders. And like basically even like all the top dudes I mean, not top dudes, but like kind of like, you know, like the leader guys there were like believers. And I was like, that's strange, like that's odd. Yeah, that was really weird for me when I was younger. I'll land that first part. I kept hurting myself, so I quit. Yeah, I hurt myself a bunch too, huh? It's kind of crazy because I'm actually riding without an ACL right now. So actually, that's what got me into Flatland. Is because I tore my ACL and I never got surgery. This knee right here, I don't have an ACL. And that's why I'm riding Flatland right now, everybody. Anybody that's watching this. I should have gotten surgery, but they said I was going to be out for 9 months, and I was like, I'm going to go crazy. I'll be right back. I need to blow my nose. Okay. Holy Toledo. Remember to drink water. Maybe that's why I'm tired today. I'm dehydrated. Okay, so I know there's some people watching, but we're going to do the 4 block. So I'm going to be doing something kind of repetitively, and it's probably going to be kind of boring to watch. So I'm just warning you guys right now. We're going to be failing over and over and over again, so I don't know if you guys are going to be enjoying the stream right now, but I do want to land this line or give it another attempt. We gave it an attempt yesterday, but didn't land it very good, so Today might be the day we land 4 block. Let's get it set up. This is now, we're getting into the realm of trials BMX riding. Or trials riding in of itself. Did I break that thing? What the heck? Okay, so now this one over here. Will today be the day I land it? I don't know. I think that's why I'm tired today, though. Because yesterday I was trying this exact same thing, and I didn't land it. Maybe today I'll land it. Or I'm just going to tire myself out. Is that good right there? I think that might work. If you're a trials rider, you're probably laughing at me, but bro, this thing is hard. For me right now. I'm a beginner trials rider. So, you guys have any tips for me? I'd love to hear it. I'm just gonna move this one step over. Okay. That's how we do it. It's fun though. It is fun. I think the gaps are a little bit smaller than they should be. But they're a little bit small. So the goal is today is to do 4 pedal kick abublicas and then 4 fakie abublicas. That's the goal. I want to do it into a line, but if I can land that, that's what we're going for. Try not to get frustrated. It seems easy, but I have trouble with it. You guys have any tips? Any tricks or tips or tricks? don't know why it's so hard. I guess I kind of know why. I think it's because I'm just not timing it correctly. You have to like let go of the brake and do the pedal kick at the right time. I think different song. Three, two, one. Okay. Oh, come on. What is wrong with me? I was doing it yesterday. I don't know where this is going to take me. This might be a multi-day excursion, multi-day expedition. I hit this thing over here. I gotta push these back then. You're gonna have to push it, like kind of turn it this way. So I'm gonna hit that thing. Workout. That's why I'm tired of that. We did the Bible study on failure, so I'm just gonna have to fail a whole bunch today. I just kind of think that this clip's gonna take a long time, but it's not impossible. I know it's doable. It's not impossible. Let's see if I can do it. just gotta time it right. That's all it is. Just aim and time. And endurance, I guess. Fudge. There's like an anti-hop you get. If you get on the corner one of those things that like you want to like do the exact same pedal kick, but it doesn't go. I wonder what like trials riders call that. I wonder if it's just like, I don't know. I wonder they probably have a name for that. What I just did right there. It's coming up short or something like that. Hard. Wow. Come on. I'm wondering maybe if I should just do the 4. Maybe just 4 and then go into a fakie into something. Instead of trying to do 4 and then 4 back. Yeah, maybe that's the line. Failure. Let's try not to give up. Grips keep moving on me. I might not even have enough energy to do this. I gotta space them out a little bit more. We almost did. Oh man, that was so close.
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local recordings are now available on StreamYard. Have you ever done a recording?
Ipa, ipa, ipa. Come on, we're gonna land something here. I wonder what I should do. Fakie, and then I'm just gonna go on the side over here. Let's just do a gyrator. It's the only trick I really have consistently. Oh, come on. I think I actually need to I think I need to get a little bit more on top of that brick. What is wrong with me? This should not be this hard. That's like 1 out of 20 attempts I could even do it. It's pretty brutal. Even just probably 1 out of 20 attempts even just to get to the 4. This.
People are looking for a simple way to lose weight. SlimFans XP is really going to invade your metabolism.
No. Maybe the music's messing me up. I think all you need is just get in that rhythm. Boop, 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 boop. It's the rhythm of the night. Ay, ay, ay. Try not to get frustrated. Battled this yesterday. Ah! Come on. kidding me? Maybe they're a little too spaced out. Maybe my brakes just slipped. Maybe I gotta clean my brakes off. Straight bike maintenance to get this clip. I feel like that last one, my brakes slipped. Yeah, that's what's been happening. My brakes have just been slipping on me. Fudge. It's a battle to get to that 4. Oh, it is fun. It's just a little hard. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Maybe I should just lean that one a little bit out. Just getting in the 4, and then once I get to the 4, just hop out that way, and then just do the Geriator that way. I think it might work out.
Some body washes are so boring. And some
Puta. Okay, right here. Let's try not to give up. Like that. It makes no sense to me. Why can't I do it? It seems so easy, but it's not. Like it's just like I feel like I'm going to do it every single time, and then it doesn't happen. Where's the music? What happened to the music?
Do you feel a little stressed when applying for a new credit card? No. Dear Sharp Curves, Toyota has more.
We'll listen to this one again. Oh, are you kidding me?
It's always this is the culprit. Because that was just shaped differently? Why do I get hung up on this thing? Oh, this one. I guess they're all kind of different. I think that's because I guess how I hit it right here, and then this one's really, really sharp. I feel like that might be it. This one's really, really sharp, so when I get on that side, it's just like pushing me down. So I think that one I actually have to, so it's actually weird now because I feel like you almost have to like do little different pedal gauges. Like this one I have to pedal gauge it, but then when I get on this one, I actually have to crank it a little bit more to get over this little lip. I did not even think about that. It's ridiculous. Woo! We landed it. We beat the level. Oh man. It's funny because when I thought about that, I was like, I didn't even notice that. That's funny. Okay. Well, we beat that level. I knew that one wasn't going to be that hard. The hard one's going to be the one 4 and then 4 back. That's the hard one. Because the thing about the 4 back one is because like the 4 forward one, you're doing the pedal kick, pedal kick, pedal kick, pedal kick. But then the back one's hard because you have to like do each one and then use your tire pressure to get into the next one. That one's the challenge right there. Let's try it. We got the first level down. Here we get the second level. Serious. I think you might drop for a little bit.
getting brutal. We did it that one time, so we put the blocks away till the next time. You can do an under-tier gyrator. Oh, did 5. I'll take it. Turn to like a squeaker.
Cole, he
Woo, let's do it. All right, let's try and draw a picture now. We're gonna keep it a kind of a shorter stream. Hang on, draw a quick picture here. Let go, draw. do this. Maybe we'll do 2 short turns today? Or no, 2 shorts, maybe do a short turn tomorrow. Man, I'm out of it today. We are out of it today. At least we got something done though. That's cool. Let's try and scribble something real quick. Okay, let's do this. Holy moly, today was gnarly. Today was a bit more gnarly than usual. Oh, I have to push this over on top of this.
Let's see here. Do we need to make some more paper? We do. Jason, what's up, dude? Just chilling, bro. Just chilling, bro. Actually, I was struggling today. I ain't even lying. Today was a struggle, but trying to draw something right now. How you been, dude? You been riding, man? You're one of the few BMX riders I actually met on here. You're actually probably one of like 4 Flatlanders I've ever even met on Twitch. So shout out to you, Jason. How you been, man? How you been, bro? How you been? I rode twice this month so far. Working over the road sucks. I want to quit and get a local job so I can ride more. I know Gabe Weed. Works at a bike shop. He says he rides 4 hours like a day, but he owns that bike shop, so. You should get into like street riding. So since you're like going to a lot of spots, you know. But I guess that's the cool thing about Flatland too, is you can ride many different areas. I would maybe get into like brake riding. Because like the brake tricks, there's a lot of like brake tricks that you don't need to do it completely on an even ground. Oh yeah, another thing I want to say, Jason, is I actually switched my setup. I lowered my PSI. I'm actually running 80 now, thanks to Ryan Russell. And also I switched out from 0 offset to 15. What I started noticing actually is when you run the 0 offset and really high PSI, if you're not riding on a complete level surface, it's even more like twitchy. And I started realizing that. So now when I ride like a lower PSI and then like riding the 15 offset, it kind of makes me a little bit more adaptable to where like if I ride like a spot that's like off-centered, like if it's the ground's not completely level, it's not as dramatic. Too old for street? Yeah, I mean, you can get into like just grinding stuff like foot tall ledge stuff, you know? Okay, let's see here. What are we gonna do in here? Trials Mysteries.
Weren't you gonna set up a stream in your truck? I wonder if anybody's done that. Just stream like they're trucking. What is this? I'm gonna watch this. Oopsie, sorry about that. It's weird. This guy named this video "The Angel Gabriel." Let's see if I can show it. Where does it say it? Now look. He named this one "The Angel Gabriel." I just found it strange. I was like, "What in the world?" What in the world? Huh. I need to zoom this out maybe. Gabe is a legend, powerful riding style. Yeah, that dude does like hop whips and stuff. That's what I was like, holy, well, this dude's just freaking just hop whipping like it's nothing. Is my autoplay not working? Let's see. Why is the autoplay not working? Thanks, dude. Dude, those things took so long to edit, man. Oh my goodness, man. I cannot edit videos, bro. Well, I mean, I can edit videos. It's so much work to edit a video, dude. I'm like, oh my goodness. I just like streaming more, man. Streaming is 100 times easier, man, because you just don't have to edit things. Okay, I'm messing up. Here you go, you know. But editing is fun. It's just like, it's hard to like find copyright free music and, you know, all sorts of, you know, stuff like that. I don't know what to draw. I wanted to draw like a mounted character today. I don't know if it's gonna work out though. Let's try to draw another mounted character. I think I have to start out with the but I don't have much time. My friends want to hang out, so I'm also kind of on a time budget here. Where's my studies that I did of this? I did do some drawings up in here of this.
This one's similar anyway. This is like this direction. Intriguing. That's why I stopped YouTube. Man, you got a lot of views on your videos, huh? You like blew up right away. Oops. I'm just gonna scribble today here. I need to figure out like the proportion of this in here. So we're just gonna mess around. We're gonna see the proportional grid of this stuff. I think I'm gonna just do maybe some thumbnails first. So let's just do some like thumbnails.
I actually need to see, because I was like thinking like, should I do a donkey? Should I do... This guy right here is really gnarly. This dude's like name is Michael Steinbach or something like that. Really crazy. It's weird because he rides like super slow. Do you watch any other streamers? Have you met any other BMX riders up on here? Are you in your truck right now? Man, this thumbnail already just looks like it's gonna work. I might even just do this one right there. For some reason my autoplay ain't on. What's wrong with my autoplay up in here? Huh. Oh, I forgot about Seth Kimbrough. It's crazy out there, man. Like super snowy and stuff, the road conditions. I don't know what I'm drawing right here. Should he have a staff? Maybe a fishing pole? Is he gonna be riding a donkey? I don't know. Kinda wanted to make it a donkey, but... Should probably zoom in on this, huh? Oh, for sure, man. You have a good one, Jason. Keep trying your best, bro. Keep staying safe out there, man. Thanks for stopping by.
At Vistaprint, we can get your brand into your customer's hands.
What up, Career Fit? What up, dude? What up, bro? Scribbling, man. I want to draw a donkey, but I don't know. Oh, it looks like a donkey. Oh man, the Bible study was brutal today. It was it was actually really gnarly. Like, so the Bible study was kind of funny because I did the Bible study on the topic of failure, right? And then what ended up happening is then like I just got, I don't know, the Bible study got super complex, and then someone hopped in on my chat, and then I didn't know how to delete their messages, and they're kind of trolling me a little bit, and I got frustrated, and then I just deleted the stream, and then I started over again, and man, it's kind of gnarly, but we're here. I guess I got something done, but got something done, I guess. I don't know. It's actually weird. It's like the first time it's happened. It was really weird. I could do it. The thing is I didn't know I had to open up the stream manager on the internet. I was all like trying to do it on OBS. I guess you can't do it on OBS, or maybe I don't have the setting on OBS. But yeah, if you actually get into your stream and somebody like comes in and they're like saying all sorts of stuff, like, yeah, I wasn't expecting it. But yeah, so the thing about today's Bible study, what was weird, it's strange because like I read these commentaries, right? The thing is these commentaries don't cover everything, right? It's not like they cover every single question, every single, thing on that. But the thing is that, I don't know if you listened to yesterday's Bible study, but yesterday's Bible study was on about Matthew 5:14, about being a city set on a hill that cannot be hidden, right? But what was weird about it is I was like, if Jesus doesn't want us to be hidden, then should we not hide our failures and hide our faults and our weaknesses and stuff like that? And it got into a weird Bible study. I don't know. Yesterday's Bible study was good, but man, it was brutal today. I mean, today was easy because I did it again, but it might auto play off. I don't know why it's not playing. Getting gas will be... Oh, for sure. Thanks for stopping by, man. I feel like I shouldn't even be streaming today, man. I'm actually kind of tired and kind of just...
kind of not fully in it, you know, but we're still here. We're still trying. Yeah, I guess so, huh? I kind of like this little character. I feel like that it looks more like a horse, though. I want to draw like a fish. Maybe this should be a fishing pole. Let's just try and build this thing up. Let's see the proportion. That's the big one right here. Oh, that doesn't make sense. I got this wrong, didn't I? Oh my goodness, mounted characters are hard. Why does this not make any sense right here? Let me do this over. So we got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 7.5. Huh. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's why. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got the pelvis wrong right there. This one. So if this is this. What is the proportion of that? I think it's about 4, right? 4 heads big for a donkey. That's like this. Okay, so I actually need to push this head a little bit more down then. So actually I got this actually incorrect. I mean, I guess your proportions don't have to be completely perfect. Why is this so bumpy? I don't know why it's so jittery. There we go. I actually think it needs to be more down. Is that more correct? I mean, that looks exactly the same, doesn't it? This is what makes the mounted characters so hard. I always struggle with these mounted characters, man. We're having to deal with 2 proportion grids, not only the proportion of the figure. This is actually why I love just drawing the bikes just right on the side of the figure, because it's just so much easier. Or even just drawing like a character and then just drawing the animal right onto the side of it. Because once we just start putting it on top of it, we have to worry about the proportion on top, the proportion of this. It's very challenging, actually. Or we could just wing it. That is another option as well. So I am looking at this stuff right here. I did make some of these studies up in here, right? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5. A horse is a little bigger than a person. I'm trying to draw a donkey though, right? So this is actually should be a little bit smaller, which I don't know exactly the donkey proportion.
Like, I want to redo it, but I'm like, I don't know, man. Try not to get stressed out. Let's just go for it. We sending it. We're using this as our thumbnail. My friends want to hang out today, so I don't know how long I'm going to stream for. Look, that dude's doing the trick. Joel's actually one of the dudes that inspired me to learn that. See that trick right there? I've been trying to learn this trick that he's doing. That dude is a master at this trick. I want to look at this again. Holy moly, this guy is crazy. He's fallen on that a lot too. Basically fallen just like I am. Okay, where's my colored pencil? Actually, we're gonna use this pencil right now. I don't even think I'm gonna finish this drawing now because my friends want to hang out. So I don't know how much I'm gonna get done with this one today. Okay, so what are we starting with right now? Where's our thumbnail? What did I just do with it? Oh, here it is. Maybe I should put this thumbnail like right at the bottom right here. It doesn't fit. We're looking at this. Okay, so trying to take this little thing. The big one is going to be this head. I think actually the big one, okay, so I remember the last time I did a mounted character, where I got frustrated is I started with the figure first, and I built the mount on top of it. Today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the mount and then draw the figure on top of it, and vice versa. But also the big one right now we're going to do is we're going to try and get our proportion up in here, so I want his head right, maybe like right there. I want to just see if we get these proportions in here. Let's just see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5. Okay, so that's the proportion for that one. Let's do line of action, roughly blocking in, just seeing where the figure is, just roughly the 3 movable asses. 1, 2, 3, 4 is at the end of the pelvis. Roughly, quickly putting it in there, just very lightly. I'm not holding the pencil like this. I'm almost just holding it like that, just to kind of just rough it in so I can erase it. And then let's see if we can make this donkey in here. See now that's why I did it like this, because I feel like I'm not going to be able to get the donkey in here. Nope. I have to erase it. I have to draw it smaller. Wow. Man, how small do you have to draw that thing? Interesting. So actually I'm going to have to do a different proportional grid. Wow, this is going to be very tiny. Interesting. So I actually might have to even half this, because the feet of the donkey aren't going to fit on this page. So are you even going to be able to do a figure that big? Interesting. I think another good thing, what might be cool to do, is just doing a bunch of proportion grids and just like building them off of that. I mean, I could have done that right now with some other ones that I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5. Wow, that is going to be a tiny figure. Okay, let's quickly block it in, I guess. Let's just try it out. We're just experimenting. I'm not good at drawing mounted characters, so this is all just for practice.
No harm in practicing, right? 2, 3, 4. And by the way, anybody out there that watches these things, you guys could practice this too. It's not like you have to like, because I know some artists are much more like, oh, you shouldn't take my style or whatever like that. And if you're giving glory to God, I'm all for it. If any of this stuff that I'm teaching anybody, or I don't even know if I'm teaching, I'm learning it myself. I'm learning it with you guys if you guys are doing it. Hopefully you can give glory to God somehow. That's my ultimate goal. Okay, let's see here. Let's see if the figure will fit. So the figure actually sits right at, so see this pelvis? So 1, 2, 3, 4. The pelvis is right here. This is actually where they sit down at, right? So let's just see what will happen. Now, actually, let's see how big, if we look at this, our proportions sheet right here. Now, this is actually a horse, so we're going to try and draw a donkey. Donkeys are smaller. How big is a donkey compared to a horse? See, now these proportion grids are very important because I don't know how big a donkey actually is compared to a horse. And I actually think I might have drawn this a little bit too small. Oh well, we're just practicing. And so I think a donkey, if we look at a donkey, let's see. How big is a donkey compared to a man? People are just think I'm crazy. I'm really just curious, like how does this work? Because we could actually learn. So you know how I construct the figure like this? You can actually construct the donkey this way. So we think about the line of action is right here, his spine's right there, right? This would be the first immovable mass, which would be the block right there, just like this right here, the torso. There would be the third immovable mass right here, which I'm going to be actually very careful to place that in there. And then how tall would a donkey be? I think it'd probably be about right there. See, now I could have made this a little bit bigger. Now this is what's kind of frustrating about traditional art. See, because if I was on Photoshop, I could just select this thing I could just select this right here, make it a little bit bigger, but we don't have that option, right? We have to manually, and this is why the proportion grid is just so important, especially if you get into traditional art, because it just doesn't, just that little, dude, I literally made it just a fraction smaller. That is redonkulous. That's straight up redonkulous. That don't make any sense. Oh well. Time to upgrade reality. This almost looks like a horse, doesn't it? Oh, we're just practicing. We're just practicing. Donkeys have big ears compared to horses. That's the big indicator, I think. Darn, I drew it too small. How in the world that don't make any sense? I drew it too big and now I drew it too small. Oh man. Yeah, just go with it. I feel like I've wasted so much time already. I guess a light box would help too. I mean, I do have actually a light box. Maybe this will just be a bigger little thumbnail we draw. But I think that one, maybe, I mean, we could, let's actually keep this one, and now we'll just use this as our reference guide. So let's kind of we'll just redraw it again, actually. It's going to be straight up ridiculous, but it's okay. So we're going to use this as our proportion guide now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5. Not all people are 7.5, by the way. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.5 is at the end of the kneecap. We split his pelvis in half, or whoever this character is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5 right here. So his end of the kneecap would be right there. It works. I don't think it works, but it doesn't look right though. I don't know. I'm going crazy. I'm just kidding. We're going crazy, everybody. But the thing is if we do it this way, this is the thing, is it seems very complex, but I do it this way because it's actually less stressful on me. Because especially if you get into painting and stuff, it's much less stressful. And then let's see the donkey. So I know this donkey, see this head right here is a very big indicator, I think. We're going to try and do that, and then this is the line of action. And the donkey actually has 3 immovable masses too, just like the man. Head, torso, pelvis. And that's the thing, is if we master the 3 immovable masses, which is the head, the torso, and the pelvis, in a sense, if we learned our perspective correctly, we could place these blocks in any perspective, right? So like if we think about this as the blocks, we could throw it in this perspective, we could throw it in this perspective, 1-point perspective, all sorts of perspectives, right? And that's the big one. If we learn these 3 blocks, we'll check back. All right, man. Have a good one, Great Effort. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by. Now we're going to build it again. We're going to draw this all over again. Because it's crazy. Oh, man. So, we're taking another piece of paper out, everybody. We're going to draw this 3 times. I know it sounds kind of absurd, but I'm kind of like that. So, what did we learn the first time? We learned the first time that the head of the man or woman, and he probably going to be a dude though, we did it in this proportion grid of this. That was the big indicator. So let's actually see if we can make it just a little bit bigger. Let's try that one. Let's see if this one will work for us. Actually, maybe I should have drawn it like that, because maybe this guy will have like a halo or something. No, I'm thinking about it. We need to see, and this is the other thing, is we can keep. So maybe if we want to have like a halo on this dude or something, we need to keep that in mind. Interesting. Let's see here. So let's try this proportion grid. Is that the same? Let's see. How much bigger is that one? So that's just a little bit bigger. But let's see if that one works. Let's actually do it just a little bit bigger. Let's see if that works. So let's see. That one was that. Try this proportion grid. Will that proportion grid work? Stay tuned to find out. I don't think it is, but we'll try. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5. So I have feel like, why does it change so dramatically? Like, just see how it's so, how, like, even that drastic, it seems like such a little change, right? But it changes the proportion grid so dramatically. It's actually pretty absurd. It's not going to work, this one. This is brutal. You know, it's reminding me of the trials maneuver we did today. Okay, let's try this one. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5. See how much that one changed? I think this one actually might work. Oops. Okay, we'll give this one a go. So we start with our line of action, which is the spine of the figure, and I actually just messed that up right there. Torso. 1, 2, 3, 4 is at the end of the pelvis. We're going to think about these as 3 blocks of mass. Like if they were 3 clay blocks that we can mold. And honestly, it's almost just, it's a little bit bigger than this one. It's actually hilarious. So from here, let's do our line of action for the spine of the mammalia, which is of the donkey genus. Donkey. Donkey, donkey, donkey. We're just gonna roughly just... I probably shouldn't have put the ear because I probably should have figured this out. And so with the donkey, just like the man, we're gonna do the line of action for the spine. We're gonna figure out the torso of the donkey. We're gonna think about the torso as a giant block fit within the frame of the spine. Now the frame and the spine can go in and out of one another. Let's think about this one as a block. Just roughly putting it in. Okay, so I think this one will fit better within the frame that we've constructed based on this proportion grid that we have, which took too long for me to figure out. So now we have our base construction for this mounted character. It's just ridiculous. This is why I don't draw many mounted characters, because of this very nature of this. If you guys are wondering, right? Drawing a bike, it would be much, it's honestly 100 times easier to draw the man or whoever, drawing whatever figure you're going to draw, drawing it on the side and then just putting something in the background, because you don't got to figure out all this other stuff up in here. So now, since we have this placed, I think what we're going to do is we're going to bring out our this pencil right here. This is our blended colored pencil. By the way, you can get all these materials at your local Walmart. Shout outs to Walmart. If, you know, for a while I would use like very expensive items, you know, like crazy colored pencils, but then what would start happening is that I would like go to the art store and they'd be like, oh, well, someone stole all the colored pencils. And I'm like, what in the world? I need that colored pencil. So what started happening is I'm like, you know, I'm going to start using just whatever is around. And I was kind of inspired by Frank Frazetta, because what's interesting about Frank Frazetta, it's actually kind of funny about Frank Frazetta, is that he would actually use just the cheapest of products, and he would just do these like crazy you know, people just, it's insane that he would do these crazy illustrations and stuff, just using like the minimal means of what was around him. At times, depending on, I guess, what you think is minimal. But now, let's get into this. This colored pencil is definitely going to be an interesting layer. It's a very small figure to draw something like this. It actually looks more like a horse. I actually might have to make these legs just a little bit smaller. Has an autographed illustrated art book signed by Frizzler. Who has that? You have that? What's up, Joe? What's up, man? I don't know if I'm going to finish this illustration today just because my friends want to hang out. Oh, interesting. Intriguing. The Death Dealer. Yeah. Yeah, Frazetta was a very interesting character. Okay, so what do we do? So we're going to start with our... now, it's actually weird. So the very nature of using these pencils... So actually a lot of people do not like these pencils. This, by the way, this is a Crayola... You know, this is a Crayola pencil you can get at your local Walmart, right? This is not the erasable kind. They actually make some new versions of this now. It has a little bit of an eraser thing, but the thing is they use a different type of lead. So the very nature of why people do not like these pencils are actually the very reason actually why I like using these pencils, because so the thing is that with these pencils it's harder to erase. And so what's interesting about it is that if you can get your proportion grid kind of locked down, you can almost use this pencil as like an underlayer that kind of stays underneath it. Whereas if I were to use a colored pencil that was easy to erase, if I would erase this top layer right here, you would erase the bottom layer that you have underneath there. But the thing is that what's hard about it is that if you don't place your proportions correctly, it becomes a nightmare. because then if you're like, okay, well, I'm going to do it like this, and you start drawing and you can't erase it, you're like, oh man, this is hard. Doing busy-ish wax. It is kind of waxy. These colored pencils do have a nature of a bit more of a waxy nature about them. Okay, let's see here. I don't know if I'm going to finish this illustration today, but we're going to just try and go for it. So we're starting with our line of action, which is the spine of the figure, just like we said. This is going to be the head of the figure. 3 immovable masses. Pelvis. We're splitting the pelvis in half to figure out where the legs are going to be situated. This is the ab. We're cutting that in half. We're going to cut that in half to find, and then so now what we're going to do is we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, let's do the donkey. So we got that kind of down. Let's do the donkey. Mr. Donkey, what are you doing? What are you doing, donkey? Okay, let's see here. So we're going to start with the head of the donkey. Now, I actually haven't really studied animal anatomy that profoundly, right? We're going to start with, just like what we did right here, we're going to do it with the donkey. So we're doing line of action, which is the spine of the animal. And then this, like just this big block. This big block is the torso of the donkey. And another block right here, which is the pelvis of the donkey. Okay, so let's figure this out. So let's try and get the leg proportions down. I'm actually just guessing this stuff at the moment because I actually don't know exactly the proportion of a donkey, but this kind of looks more like a horse, maybe almost like a mini horse. No, it looks like a donkey. It looks like a donkey. I think it does anyway. I need to start studying my animal anatomy more. So we're gonna go push this into perspective, and so this very thing, this is actually a very important thing that I mean other people do it different ways, but what I do is say you have like the knee, right? Well, you push this back, where are you gonna find the other knee? Okay, it's right there. Boop. Where are we going to find that one? Boom, right there. Pretty simple. I don't know if I'm digging this, but it's okay. We're just going to go with it. We're trying to go with it. We're trying not to get frustrated. A lot of work for barely anything. Oh my goodness, huh? People probably just think I'm crazy, but the thing is that once you do this stuff, it makes it way easy, man. It makes it much easier on the mind. The mind is an interesting thing. Okay, so let's figure out the end of the kneecap, right? Of the figure. So how we figure out the end of the kneecap of the figure riding this donkey is if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5. Now we have to remember that since this is this is tilted, it's not like a straight view like this, it's actually tilted like that. Oh man, someone's calling me. What are you doing, dude?
Jamie, come over to John's.
Hey, Matt. Hey, I gotta get some stuff done. Here, I'll go down there.
What are you doing?
I'm drawing right now. Here, I'll be down in a little bit.
Downtown.
You're going
I'll
downtown?
leave without you.
Dude, what are you guys doing?
We're gonna go downtown, and if you're not here in 10 minutes, then tough shit. Uber's gone, bro.
Bro, you guys ain't going downtown.
Yeah, we're gonna meet up with Matt Wallace.
Really?
Yeah.
Fudge, bro. I'm probably gonna draw then.
Well, are you gonna come over? Or?
Yeah, I'm gonna come over for sure.
Alright, cool.
All right, later, dude.
Alright, later.
All right. Here, wait up. I'm gonna just quickly put in anything when I end the stream. I gotta get going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5 is the end of the kneecap. Since this figure is tilted to the side, I'm gonna put the knee right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5 is actually right there. And that's where we can figure out the end of the foot. And then what did we do on our little illustration up in there? I think we did a staff of some sort, right? So let's do our deltoid. Oh man, I gotta get ready. I probably shouldn't even have drawn today. Oh well. I guess I at least tried to draw today. Okay. Let me push it down a little bit of a notch. Put a little glow on this dude. Alright, I wanted to get this drawing done today. I'm not very good at starting a drawing and then redoing it on another day. Jane Sonia. Who are you? Why are you in here? I'm just kidding. I think you're the other artist, aren't you? I'm pretty sure I followed you because you were drawing, weren't you? Or am I wrong? I'm here to critique my art. I don't know if you're at the level. I'm just kidding. I don't know if you're ready for the level we're gonna get into. So I actually have to get going pretty soon. My friends want me to my friends want me to hang out. But if you want to get a little recap of what we did, this thing took me 3 tries to get down. So we started with, this is actually how this drawing started. It started with this tiny little illustration right here, which we call it the thumbnail, right? Now the big one about it is this 3 immovable, is the proportion grid. So I did it once more again, like this. And this one was actually smaller, if you can see, right? It's hard to place this down. So what I did is I redrew it again. This is the problem with traditional art, is you have to redraw things. And so we redrew it again, and this one actually is pretty placed within the confines of this two-dimensional plane we have going right here. A free fundamental class. What is that? Interesting. You're in a class right now, Jane Sana. Welcome. So the thing is let's see here. I did have another illustration that we had going for this one. So we did do. I did do a illustration of the horse, the black horseman, right? Of the 4 horsemen, right? And the big one we did was we started out with our thumbnails, got our big proportion grid for this one of the horse. Actually, this one's supposed to be a donkey. This one's actually a horse. We did a thumbnail for this one, so we chose this thumbnail. This is the second layer, second base layer for this one. I used to use a light box for my illustrations a long time ago. I don't use a light box anymore, but I did used to use a light box. So I actually light boxed this 2 times like this. We used a light box on that one, light boxed it on top again, and then on a 3rd try we did a light box, and this is the final layer of this one. And it's on top of this one. We light boxed it on top of this one. And this is actually Revelation 6, 5 through 6, about not damaging the oil or the wine, which we tried to add in the oil, the food, the wine spilt. And look at all the oil, man. We got a dollar sign up in there. We got the dead fish, man. And then, yeah, so we got this one.
But unfortunately, I have to get going here. Here's another drawing we did. This one. I've been liking the shepherd characters. Are kind of funny to do. Got this one. Got. Weren't you a believer? I'm pretty sure I saw you on the Christian tag, right? I know some people get weirded out when I put Bible verses and stuff on things, but we put this one right here, and it says, "A joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones." Now the thing is, I actually draw a lot of my characters very mean looking. Do I have another one up in here somewhere? I do. A lot of my characters actually look very mean. I tried to make this guy a little happier. Got a little squirrel right there. Hey, I thank God for giving me a chance to talk shortly, at least. It's nice to see another artist. I'm Catholic Christian. Okay. Yeah, I have a lot of friends that are Catholic. I mean, I've actually even been to Mass a lot of times, too. But I'd kind of consider myself, I'm kind of like multi-denominational at this point. I just have friends of so many different denominations at this point that I don't know what denomination I am anymore. I'm going to be flat out honest. I just feel like I'm like, my bad everybody, I'm sorry. I'm friends with all you guys that are different denominations and now I don't know who I am. Now the thing is, I actually did learn a lot of this stuff from this guy named George Bridgman. That's how I learned figure drawing. And George Bridgman did study Michelangelo. So in some ways, I mean, there is somewhat, I mean, I guess depending on if you think Michelangelo was Catholic or not, right? I'm pretty sure he was because he did a bunch of art and stuff like that, so. They look pretty serious and well made, though. A basic catechism reading, man. I'd love to give you a history. I mean, I actually did, I did actually listen to the catechism from, who is that dude? I think his name's Father Mike on YouTube. I do follow that guy. Because that guy actually did pop up in my, when I was like looking up questions and stuff for some scriptures and stuff, and he did actually pop up. But, yeah, I don't know what denomination I am. So, I have a lot of friends that are Catholic though. But let's actually quickly go in here. So I actually quickly want to just see what would happen if we do the second layer. So what I like to think about this as the three immovable masses. So we're going to start with that. I'm going to start with our deltoid, bicep, we got our tricep, we got our forearm muscle, we got the hand. So there's actually this one artist, his name's Brad Rigney. I don't know if he still works for MTG, but he used to work for MTG. What Brad Rigney said to work on the hardest areas first. So he would work on the head, the hands, right? Which we'll try and just quickly just kind of improv this out. I'm actually going to put this shepherd staff already up in here. It's a little shepherd staff, and it's budding. A little Easter egg, huh? Big time for discernment and pray to the Holy Spirit to guide you to the true faith. I must admit you are so technical at drawing. I used to be hyper technical, still am, but I got looser in time. I only do perspective like this when I got really clear compositioning down. Yeah, that's the thing.
I did study. I did study a lot of perspective, and stuff like that. That's actually why I use this green pencil right here, because I do really like the. I do like the what you might call it. I like to try and keep the gesture drawing. You know, like if you're doing it in digital, you have like that first layer, and then you draw on top of that layer. I did like to do it like that. The thing was, is I actually did used to do a lot of digital drawing. For actually most of my actually not anymore, because what ended up happening, what got me into traditional drawing was I used to have a computer. Actually, I used to have a really gnarly computer, and it broke on me. The computer broke, right? And so what ended up happening was I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to start drawing on paper, because I couldn't afford another computer. And then there was like a good 4 or 5 years where I just drew on paper. Okay, so, but I think the proportion is like the biggest thing for me personally. So we go 1, 2, just these landmarks of, how to place a figure down is really, really important for me. Now we're going to draw this donkey. Let's see. Now, I'm not very good at drawing animals. That's the thing. I'm trying to get better at drawing animals. But far out there with drawing the animals. This is supposed to be a donkey. Because sometimes I think about a BMX bike, kind of like a donkey. Because the BMX bike's like a smaller bike. And it just reminded me of a donkey, but do together, See, I'm quickly trying to do this because I know my friends do want to hang out right now. Let's see if we can kind of get this done as quick as possible. Donkey. I need to figure out how to set up a webcam and stream oil. Yeah, so actually the thing is, I'm actually using my old phone. What I'm drawing on right now is actually an old iPhone 7. And yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. It's an old iPhone 7. And I use the OBS Studio. OBS Studio, and the thing is, I'm using an app. There's actually an app you can use. It's I think it's like a yearly thing. Unfortunately, it's ridiculous, right? You have to pay something yearly just to use your phone as a camera. But I think it's only like $15 a year or something like that, and you can use your phone as a camera. It does work. Air server? No, it's called, what's it called? I'm gonna have to, it's on this phone right here. I have to end the stream and look at the phone. Let me actually see. Let's see if I can give you guys the program real quick. I'm gonna exit out. I'm gonna disconnect this and look at it real quick. Wait, what is this? Let's see here. If I click on this. Yeah, it's called OBS Camera. I think that's what it's called. It seemed like that's what it was called. Donkey. Little donkey. My friends are probably pissed at me. My friends were waiting on me. Sorry, you're probably watching me right now. Sorry, dudes. I'm trying to draw that donkey, okay?
Donkey, 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 donkey. Is the stream even working? I don't even know if it is. Yeah, we have a bunch of drawings. Let's see. This is the drawing we did the other day. This one right here. This is generally what I do draw. Much easier to draw like these characters because like this, there's just so much like proportion. It's just a headache actually. This one actually kind of working out, but doing a draw stuff like this is actually my last one that I drew. We got a little sleep. What is that? What is that thing right there? We call that little sleeping bun right there. So this is like kind of like the armor of God thing, you know. So we got like helmet of salvation, breastplate of righteousness, belt of truth, boots of the gospel of peace. I put a peace sign right there. Shield of faith, by which you can extinguish all the flame darts of the evil one. Got the sword of the spirit. Got a BMX bike. But I have a ton of drawings up in here. I mean, like, there is a straight stack of them. Like look at all of these right up in here. We got like straight up like there's like 500 drawings up in here. All right, let's see here. I used to ink too, so that's the other thing is I actually used to ink a lot on stream. But the thing about inking on stream, so I did used to ink. I haven't inked in a while, but I did used to do like traditional inking. The only thing is inking is super stressful. So I don't ink anymore. Because I would just get very frustrated. But we got like, you know, Psalms 1, 2 through 3. We got a little monkey right there, a little squirrel. We got the good word. Here's some other inks we got going. Yeah, we have just tons of drawings up in here. I don't even know, like, there's just so many of them that I don't even know, like, what to do with them. Actually, I really like this one. That was a pretty good ink of a character. Got this one. This one's actually kind of funny. Look at that little thing. Oh yeah, actually I do oil paint too. Let's see, I have a study of, I do oil paint too. Most of my drawings I've given away, but I do oil paint as well. And I have oil painted. This is a study of John Sargent Singer, done in the Alla Prima oil painting style. You guys want to see? And here's the color palette that I use. So I actually I use Solomon J. Solomon's color palette. If you guys are wondering, I don't paint anymore, by the way, because painting just takes a long time for me. But we would use like the black, the burnt umber. I think that's the Viridian. That's cobalt blue. The maroon. This is like burnt sienna. Forgot what color that is. I know that's cadmium yellow, or is this? I think that might be cadmium yellow. I forgot what color that is. That's like the orange cadmium one. And then I think we would use the zinc white. And then what I would do is then I would use the glass palette. No, I never. I'm gonna be flat out honest. I failed all my schooling. I don't even have the grades to get into art school. That's the hilarious thing. I do have, if you want to see how but the thing is, I actually learned on the internet. So I don't know if you remember, there used to be this site called conceptart.org. I used to be really, really big on conceptart.org. And then, if you actually go on my, I think I have a link to my drawing and painting, Instagram, and it basically has like all the collection of my art and since I was like 14 years old.
14 or 13 years old. I did the whole shebang, but I never really felt comfortable a lot with students. Bro, I've been asked on the internet with art. Oh, for sure, huh? You know, the thing is, I did, if I could go to an art school right now, I would want to go to Will Weston's classes. His name's Will Weston. I think he teaches in Pasadena. He teaches at Art Center, I'm pretty sure. But that dude's really, he's a really good teacher. I would take one of his classes. Out of any of them, I'd be very. If I had a choice to take a class, I'd take one of his. But anyway, everybody, I gotta get going. Unfortunately, my friends want to hang out and they're waiting on me, so I might stream tomorrow, maybe. I'm not sure if I'm gonna stream tomorrow, but maybe I will stream tomorrow. But yeah, Jane, if you want to see all my old artwork, it's not all up to date though. I have I'm probably behind 300 posts on my art Instagram. I have a link on top of I think it's in my Twitch right there. You can click on it. You could scroll all the way down. I have experimented with so many different styles, from abstract, from realistic drawing, all sorts of stuff, you know. But I've come to just drawing. What I like about just drawing is it's really fast, and I'm almost at the point where I almost feel like I have undiagnosed ADHD because I can't stay focused on anything for that long of periods of time. Anyway, let's turn the sound up. Well, everybody, where's my Bible at? Thought I had it with me. Oh, I do have my Bible. We're going to leave it on a biblical scripture. I love carrying this little Bible. It's a little Gideon's Bible. And we will leave it on a verse. Let's see here. Let's see. Which one should we do in here? Let's do this one. This one's a good one. A joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. Let us remember to have a joyful spirit. Listen to the other ones. The heart of a man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. A lot up in here. Sorry, I normally my streams are much longer, but we out of here. Peace out, Jane. Peace out, Joe. Peace out, anybody that watches these things. Today, by the way, today's Bible study was kind of brutal. It's much harder. And try your best and have fun. Farewell, travelers. Till next we meet. Till next we meet. We got little Donkey Man over here. Farewell, farewell.